it. One small topic at the beginning that we needed to discuss was: are there any real world CSPs? Because all these are toy problems, be it this crypt arithmetic problem, Aniquin's problem, graph coloring problem. They all look like toyish problem. They are toy problems. They are good for testing out your algorithms and all. But are there any real world CSPs? Yes, there are a lot of real world CSPs, and CSPs are available in lot of different domains in real business settings. Okay, so you can think of numerous occasions where you will actually find such problems, and the slide that you're seeing at right now are some cases where you use CSP formulation for real world cases. So assignment problem. So assignment problem means one example of assignment problem would be: I may be a faculty in charge in a institute, and I want to assign certain teachers certain courses to teach on certain classes. Okay, based on every semester now and then, I need to actually solve this problem. And if it's college like us, it is easier because we work in a single department, and at least we take faculty from only 2 3 departments. But consider a institute which is of the magnitude of a university, where there are hundreds of teachers, tens of classes, tens of different classes, or tens of different uh, branches and all. Then the problem is actually not a problem that a human can easily solve. You can take advantage of computing resources to solve such problems. So it's kind of a scheduling problem. I want to schedule teachers to certain class based on their liking, based on what they teach previously, what they are good at, what their profile says, what classes are running, what subjects are running. I should not keep any teacher not getting any subject. So a lot of things to balance with. A lot of constraints are there. One teacher may not teach more than n number of subjects in a particular semester. A lot of constraints. So you can think of what could be the constraint in such problem, but it's a real world problem. ये हो गया टीचर्स का क्लासेस के साथ मैपिंग. ऐसा मैपिंग बहुत जगह पे होता है. ऐसा मैपिंग यू विल फाइंड लॉट ऑफ प्लेसेस. इवन ऑन से some sort of cloud service provider would have multiple tenants asking for multiple resources from the resource pool that it has, and that demand may be varying over a period of time, and such problem would again be an assignment problem. Okay, a scheduling problem for an operating system is a classical example of assignment problem. I may be talking about timetabling problem, where there is, it's not just the scheduling, but it's also has multiple other facets to it. So assignment problem is just assigning particular thing to particular person to particular class, and scheduling again is a at a lower level, granularity level, where I want to schedule it, maybe schedule certain things in parallelly, certain things in sequence. So that is what again a kind of problem where you use CSP, constraint satisfaction problem, or representation of constraint satisfaction problem. Transportation scheduling. I may be a person who is managing aircraft, or maybe this thing. I may be from merchant navy, where there are ships that I have that are taking certain goods from one location to the other location, set of different locations on the world map, and I want to transport it such that I can maximize my profit, minimize the travel duration, minimize the stress on the persons who are traveling from one location to the other, taking the transport from one location to the other. Transportation scheduling could be, you can think of scheduling of truck uh, charter in in a state or in a countrywide operations. I may be talking about maybe taking a large amount of goods from one location. So companies like say Amazon, Flipkart, they also have such cases of problems. Zomato kind of things. These all problems come under the category of transportation scheduling. Factory scheduling, layout scheduling, how I should lay out things in a factory layout so that the raw material can be efficiently turned into the finished goods, plus it could be stored efficiently into the inventory such that it can be laid out to the world whenever is required. So layout, finding the layout of a factory, scheduling different events in a factory, what can go parallelly, what cannot go parallelly, what should be the amount of inventory that I should keep in order that the entire cycle of production, cycle of the inventory production goes on. All these questions, all these things, they involve you representing certain kinds of constraints, certain kinds of state representation, some variables getting assigned certain values from certain domains, etc. etc. So that's another case or another real world place where these toy problems would actually come up in realization. But when it goes to a real world CSP problem, many of the real world CSP problem have real valued variables. Means the variables now are not discrete, but they are continuous variables. They are real valued variables, and many of the concepts that we learn or that we consider as an assumption for naturally the CSP that we are talking about in this class, they might not directly apply because the variables may not match the type of variables that we tune to or turn to in the problem. I guess that topic is before this. Yeah, this was the topic where we had left last week. So variable varieties of CSP. Can there be varieties in a CSP, or can I categorize different constraint satisfaction problems? Yes, there are different ways to categorize constraint satisfaction problems. They can be categorized based on the type of variables, and the two major categories in this particular distinction or classification of constraint satisfaction problem would involve identifying CSPs with discrete variables, CSPs with continuous variables. Second subcategory in the discrete variable category would be variables are discrete. That means they are taking values from a domain which is discrete. Okay, but the domain size is infinite. So discrete means I can count the number of variables. There can be 4 variables that make up the state. That is discrete variable. Infinite variable, infinite domain, a continuous variables means I may be actually talking about a state that is represented out of variables which themselves are continuous. Okay, so start and end times. Maybe something like if I'm doing a queuing theory or a queuing problem, wherein I want to know the turnaround time of a process that enters a queue. There, these time variables which come into picture, they are continuous. They are not discrete. So most of the time in our class, we will be concentrated on CSPs that have discrete variables. And n-queens problem, 4 columns are there. If there are 4 queens problem instance, 4 columns are there. N queen problem instance, n columns are there. N column means n variables are there. Graph coloring problem, if the state is divided into 4 regions or 7 regions, there are 7 variables, discrete number of variables. Okay, but again, in the discrete variable case of CSP, I may be having 2 different categories. One where the domain size is finite. So there is a finite size of domain to choose from, and there could be infinite domain. Now, if I actually have a job scheduling where the start and end times are there, as the example shows, it's a continuous, infinite domain values. I may choose to have that start job plus 5 is less than start job 3. So this example shows that there are 2 jobs, the start time of job 1 and start time of job 3. And the constraint that I see over here is job 3 can start any time after 5 unit after the start of job 1. That's the constraint. So constraint reads like this: job 3 can start after 5 minutes, any time after 5 minutes, job 1 starts. Okay, so here the values that the start job 3 variable can get and the value that start job 1 can get, it is an infinite numbers to choose from. So if I fix start job 1 to one number plus 5 I add, and whatever value I get from there on the timeline, I can actually choose any value because it's a continuous domain after that. But number of variables are maybe discrete for overall problem. I may be working on say 10 jobs. So 10 jobs means I want to actually know the start time of 10 jobs, end time of 10 jobs in my scheduling case. So the variable number, variable count is discrete, but the domain where I choose the value from is infinite in this case. Whereas the one that we are looking at, they are all problems luckily in the finite domain. Graph coloring problem, my palette size was fixed. N queens problem, column numbers were fixed. Crypt arithmetic problem, number of digits to choose from was fixed. If I'm talking about decimal numbers, it is going to be 10 always, that you know. Okay, and you corrected me in the morning. Okay, the next thing is continuous variable. So we are not talking about continuous variable because that is not what we will be discussing in our syllabus. We'll be only focusing on discrete variable CSPs which have finite domains. So all the algorithms that we are going to study in here, they are applicable to these categories of CSPs. But many real world problems, as we looked at earlier, they don't follow that kind of restrictions. And that's why many of the things that we generally are going to discuss, they may not be applicable as it is on the real world problems. So we need to do certain modifications. We're not talking about that, not part of our syllabus. Varieties of constraint. What type of constraint can an CSP have? A CSP variable have? So unary constraint, we talked about this in earlier discussion, and we discussed about crypt arithmetic. There were unary constraint. F cannot be 0, T cannot be 0. T और F 0 होते तो क्या होता, वो 3 डिजिट नंबर नहीं रहता. अगर T 0 होता तो F 0 नहीं होता, तो वो 4 डिजिट नंबर नहीं होता रिजल्ट का. That's why they can't be 0. So they are unary. Similarly, SA can't be colored with green. So if I have this constraint that a particular state cannot be colored with a particular color, that's a unary constraint. Okay, it is a constraint that involves single variable. Binary constraint is a variable that involves binary constraint is a constraint that involves two variables. Higher order constraint or n-ary constraint, you can call them as n-ary, or better you call them as higher order constraints. They involve three or more variables. Crypt arithmetic column constraints are higher order constraint. Now, what is column constraint? Just for the sake of understanding, this addition, one column addition, 0 plus 0 gets you r plus 10 into x1, is a column constraint. It's a columnar constraint, and that column constraint is higher order constraint because more than two variables participate in definition of that particular constraint. So that's all for today's discussion.